Very good morning to all. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. Very warm welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Reena. I'm so happy to have you here. In today's video, we are going to talk about this topic, ethical issues and dilemma. Next, we have ethical issues and ethical dilemmas are a central concept in ethics that are encountered in various professional, personal, and societal context. Let's understand about the ethical issues first. Ethical issues arise when a situation involves conflicting moral principles, values, or duties. They are problems or situations they require a person or organization to choose between alternatives that must be evaluated as right or wrong, which is ethical or unethical. Let's understand the characteristics of ethical issues one by one. First, we have moral significance. Second, we have conflict of values. Third, we have impact on stakeholders. Third, after that, fourth, we have legal and social implications. Let's understand one by one each. Moral significance. It involves decisions that have moral consequences for individual or society. Next, we have conflict of values, which means it basically arises due to clash of ethical principles. For example, honesty versus confidentiality. Next, we have impact on stakeholder. It affects the multiple stakeholders such as employees, customers, society, or the environment. Next, we have legal and social implications. It may or may not align with legal or societal norms. These are the examples of ethical issues. First example is bribery and corruption in business. Another example is privacy concern in data collection and surveillance. Next example, we have environmental harm caused by industrial activities. Next, we have discrimination based on gender, race, and religion. Apart from that, another example we have conflict of interest in decision making. These are the examples of ethical issues. Next, we have ethical dilemmas. Ethical dilemma occurs when a person faces a situation where they have to choose between two or more conflicting ethical principles and there is no clear right or wrong choice. In such cases, choosing one option after means compromising another ethical values. Let's understand the characteristics of ethical dilemmas. First characteristics is no clear solution. Second one is moral conflicts. Third one is emotional and cognitive stress. Fourth one is complexity. Let's understand one by one each. First, we have no clear solution, which means both options may seem equally valid or equally problematic. Next, we have moral conflicts. It involves a clash between two ethical principles. For example, loyalty versus honesty. Next, we have emotional and cognitive stress. It often leads to personal and professional distress due to the difficulty of the choice. Next, we have complexity. It requires deep moral, moral reasoning to resolve. These are the example of ethical dilemmas. A doctor deciding whether to break patient confidentiality to report a public health risk, an employee discovering their friend is stealing from the company, choosing between loyalty to a friend or the organization. Next, we have a journalist deciding whether to report sensitive information that could harm national security but is in the public interest to know, allocating scarce resources in healthcare. For example, deciding who gets access to a life saving treatment. Next, we have the key differences between ethical issues and ethical dilemmas. Let's understand the definition of both ethical issues and ethical dilemma. In case of ethical issues, the definition of ethical issues is general situations involving moral principles, and in case of ethical dilemma, situations requiring a choice between conflicting ethical values. What's the nature of ethical issues and ethical dilemma? In case of ethical issues can often be resolved by adhering to ethical guidelines or rules. But in case of ethical dilemma typically involves tough choices with no perfect solution. For example, data privacy violation, workplace harassment. This example comes under the ethical issues. Choosing between truth telling and saving someone's feeling. This example comes under the ethical dilemma. Next, come to the outcome of ethical issues. May have clear right or wrong outcome in case of ethical issues, but in case of ethical dilemma often result in some compromise of ethical values. These are the approaches to resolve the ethical dilemma. First approach, we have identify the problem. Second one, gather information. Third one, evaluate options. Fourth one, seek advice. And fifth one, decide and justify. So let's understand these one by one. Identify the problem, which means clearly understand the ethical conflict. Next, we have gather information, which means consider all facts, stakeholders, and consequences. Next, we have evaluate options, which means analyze each choice against ethical theories. For example, utilitarianism. Next, we have seek advice, consult with colleagues, mentors, or ethics committees. Next, we have decide and justify, make a well reasoned decision and explain it ethically. Both ethical issues and dilemmas require a strong sense of ethics, critical thinking, and sometimes creative solution to navigate responsibility. Next, we have 20 multiple choice question based on the topic ethical issues and ethical dilemmas. First topic, we have ethical issues, and these are the questions comes under this topic. First, we have what is an ethical issues? A legal dispute between two parties, a situation involving conflicting moral principle, a challenge to improve productivity, or a conflict in financially planning. So right answer is B, a situation involving conflicting moral principles. Next, we have which of the following is an example of ethical issues? So right answer is A, misinterpretation of product information. Next, we have what is the primary cause of ethical issues in organization? Lack of training, conflicting values and interest, insufficient technology, poor marketing strategy. So right answer is B, conflicting values and interest. Which is not an ethical issues? Workplace harassment, breach of confidentiality, accurate financial reporting, insider trading. So right answer is accurate financial reporting. Next, we have which ethical principle emphasizes treating people fairly? Justice, utility, autonomy. So right answer is justice. These are the questions based on this topic, ethical dilemmas. What defines an ethical dilemma? A situation where financial loss is inevitable, a conflict between two moral principles or choices, a decision involving simple operational problems, a disagreement among team members. So right answer is B, a conflict between two moral principles or choices. Next, we have which of these is is an example of an ethical dilemma. Choosing between loyalty to a friend and reporting unethical behavior, meeting a project deadline, managing an underperforming employee, allocating tasks within a team. So, right answer is A, choosing between loyalty to a friend and reporting unethical behavior. I explained already this topic in the previous slide. Next, we have an ethical dilemma typically involves decisions that can be easily resolved through rules, lead to conflicting ethical outcomes, have no consequences, and always follow company policy. So, right answer is B, lead to conflicting ethical outcomes. Next, we have what is a common approach to resolve ethical dilemmas? Ignoring the problem, using ethical principles and stakeholder analysis, letting the majority decide, seeking the fastest resolution. So, right answer is B, using ethical principles and stakeholder analysis. Next, we have a manager discovered a subordinate violating company policies. Reporting them might harm their career, but not reporting them violating company ethics. This is an example of ethical issue, ethical dilemma, legal dilemma. So, right answer is ethical dilemma. Next, we have these questions based on this topic, resolving ethical issues and dilemmas. Which of the following can help in resolving ethical issues? Ignoring minor issues, following a code of ethics, conducting anonymous surveys, increasing profit. So, right answer is B, following a code of ethics. What should be the first step in resolving an ethical dilemma? Consult the legal department, identify the conflicting principles, avoid taking actions. Next, we have seek approval from higher management. So, right answer is B, identify the conflicting principles. Next, we have a whistleblower is someone who violate the organization policies, report unethical or legal practices, lead a project team, resolve internal conflicts. What is the primary purpose of a code of ethics in an organization? To define legal regulation, to establish moral guideline for behavior, to achieve marketing goals, to reduce operating cost. So, right answer is B, to establish moral guidelines for behavior. And right answer of 13th question is B, report unethical or illegal practices. Next, we have ethical decision making should focus on maximizing organization profit, balancing stakeholder interest and ethical values, minimizing employee conflicts, following personal preferences. So, right answer is B, balancing stakeholder interest and ethical values. Next, we have ethical theories and approaches. These questions are based on this topic. Which ethical theory emphasizes doing one's duty regardless of the consequences? So, right answer is B. Next, we have utilitarianism focused on maximizing happiness for the greatest number of people, following rules and principles strictly, upholding virtues in all actions, avoiding harm to others. So, right answer is A, maximizing happiness for the greatest number of people. Next, we have virtue ethics emphasizes outcomes of actions, following established rules, developing good character traits, minimizing cost. So, right answer is C, developing good character traits. Next, we have the principle of respect for person involves treating individual as means to an end, upholding individual Autonomy and dignity, ensuring equal distribution of wealth, maximizing organizational benefit. So right answer is B, upholding individual autonomy and dignity. Next we have, which approach is most stable for making ethical decision? First option we have ignoring minor conflict to maintain harmony. Next we have using a systematic framework to evaluate all alternative, letting personal belief guide decision, following public opinion exclusively. So right answer is B, using a systematic framework to evaluate all alternative. So this is all about in today's video. Thank you so much. If you like this video, then do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.